I've been thinking a lot this week about people's sensitivities to changing events, and the boomers would have you believe that the younger generation, sir, are, as they like to say, snowflakes and very reactive. And I've always considered the reactive nature, maybe sometimes slightly immature, but just the new form of punk rock. Just this is what the newer generations are doing to rebel against what already exists. And I actually turn a deck of cards and I actually find that it is the boomer generation who are actually the most sensitive. I think they have a track record of suggesting, and of course when we talk about these things, I'm not stereotyping all boomers, I'm not stereotyping all Gen Zs or millennials. But I definitely think boomers have a track record of accusing people of things what they themselves are doing. But then if we look even further into things, which I like to do, if we ignore the generational gaps and if we ignore what is online, I think these problems are very human and they go past Gen Z, millennial, Gen X, boomer, the Great Depression generation. I think the sensitivities and being offended is just a very human reaction to things. Before I continue, I just want to say it's a really nice day today. It's absolutely lovely out here. It's a little chilly in the woods. I've only got a t-shirt on, so a light jacket would be nice, but I'm very surprised. We're only 8 days in, I think, to spring, and it's it's kind of better than last year's summer. Anyway, I was talking to an acquaintance and I realized I offended them without meaning to offend them. I think just talking now, we have to be careful because we can step on somebody's toes. And I don't necessarily think it's what the mainstream media is talking about. I don't necessarily think it is to do with race, sex, religion. I think we step on people's toes, and I think we ourselves are also offended because we all stand with such strong beliefs. We're all throwing ourselves into causes, and we all team around people. And when our views are challenged, or when we believe that we think this person is saying something what they're not, we just attack. And I was talking to my friend, and I'm not going to say if it's a he or she, because if they end up watching it, it's going to narrow it down. I don't know anyway, I guess, from the topic, but they mentioned that like they're asking why I left my village, like what was wrong with it, because they hear me growing about my old village. And I said predominantly the jobs are only construction. And then this person took it completely in the wrong direction, and all they heard was I have a thing against construction, when, as you know, what I was actually saying is I don't want to work in construction, so the only jobs around me what pay well are construction. I have nothing against people working construction. In fact, all my family work in construction. So they only heard it as what's wrong with construction. Now, when you start to think where that anger and that judgment from this person's coming from, it's not too hard. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to be a body language expert. Where it's coming from is their significant other. So this kind of narrows it down if it's a man or a woman tremendously, but their significant other works in construction. So that's obviously where the problem of the line, because the real reason why we're being so offended is because if we're dressing ourselves in a certain way, and then if somebody says, well, that's not the way to dress, we instantly jump at them, because we're no longer just free vessels living in an identity. We have taken on the identity, and we are going to die on the hill with the identity. And we no longer, you see it's an argument, we no longer give each other the benefit of the doubt. We no longer, the education isn't there. The education now is who can shout the loudest, who can say the most heinous things, because the currency is that if we say something controversial, we therefore must be speaking some truth. So, there's been many changing events in life where I've gone to question something and people have automatically thought I'm left wing or I'm right wing or I'm rebelling against this or I'm not listening to what other people are saying, when I'm only just questioning it. And it's a little bit like this platform. I'm on here saying things, but when I turn this camera off and when I go continue my walk, I often think back on the things I've said, and kind of in real time I'm kind of self-editing, and I'm thinking, well, I don't actually agree with what I've just said, because I'm out here, like most of you are, just seeking answers and looking for the truth and looking into things, because all human behavior is kind of hypocritical. We can go, what works for one person might not work for another person. You could say to somebody, I actually think it's good you've got a good ego because it's positive and it's creating a lot of industry. Without ego we don't have the industry. But then and for somebody else, they could be an absolute egomaniac and they could be a bully. So there's also this, if you look at the word ego, there's two sides to it, where there's a confidence which is infectious, and there's another side where you come across as a bully. So yeah, do I think we're being more offended now? I'm not sure. I think social media is a big, with everybody on social media now, we're seeing everybody for the first time, whereas before it would be somebody in the news, it would be somebody in a book or somebody in a TV show, or somebody down the pub who you drank with. So for the first time ever, we're seeing everybody. So I'm a big believer in all these issues have always been there, but now we can put a magnifying glass or a telescope to it in this case, and we can identify his behaviors. But I think people are looking to be annoyed. I will say that. And I think that where that's coming from is I think people are very disgruntled in their lives. I think people aren't educated enough to understand that what people are. Like, this person is a good guy, but he's doing things what are a little bit risky. Does it make him a bad guy? No, but it might make what he's doing controversial. It's like sometimes a writer will write something and then the reader thinks it reflects the writer's views. It's like an actor. If you get somebody playing a villain, that sounds like a turkey. If you get somebody playing a villain and they're very good at it, people can think he or she is a villain in real life. I think one of the problems is everybody expects that you should know their politics and you should know their pronouns, you should know everything about them when they don't know anything about you. So there is this center of the world infectious narcissism what's creeping in, where people do think they are the main character, and when they are in public addressing other people, they believe that they are on the righteous path and that everybody else should acknowledge them, even though you don't know their politics. How many times have you accidentally gone into a conversation with a religious person or somebody who believes a certain thing, and you don't even realize it's too late, you're already in the debate? Like, they have decided you are this person and you're already debating something we don't even want to debate in the first place. So I think that's what we're seeing a lot more of. I think people are have become a little bit more egocentric, and I also think the people what are looking for a reaction out, these people are also part of the problem. I think these people are very judgmental and they wear their beliefs on their sleeve, and they're very reactionary against you not addressing them a certain way or whatever. I actually don't necessarily think that's entirely true. I think there are small examples of it. So if we are talking about the pronouns example, I try not to talk about topics on here, you sort of know why. But if we are talking about the pronouns, I've never ever come across somebody who does have pronouns who does get annoyed if I don't call them by their pronouns. I'm not saying those things don't exist, I think they will, but maybe they're isolated incidents. And I think, again, the media picks up and people pick up on that. I've got something climbing my leg. And then everybody then believes this is the thing. It's like the media is highlighting and illuminating these issues, and because we maybe don't like the idea of what the issue is about, say we don't like the pronouns, then if you're already in that camp, you can attack. But if you really think about what the pronouns represent, you actually wouldn't get annoyed, because again, it's just a new trend. It's a new idea. It's a bit like a new fashion accessory. And there'll be something in the next generation what they'll bring up which will also people might not enjoy. So like me, I myself, I've never gotten annoyed at an individual for what it is they believe in or what it is they do. I just, in my head, I'm just like, okay, that's that person, they believe in that. I think that's the thing. I think it's not necessarily that we're offended, but we like to be reactionary now, and we like to rally, and we like that feeling. And I think it does center from a lot of people are unhappy in their lives and they need a hill to die on. Okay, I'm going to end the video here. I'm going to continue my walk. It's a really nice day, as I was saying earlier. So I'm looking forward to getting back out there. Have a good week. Have a good weekend. Enjoy yourselves. Ciao.